What's going on, guys? Don't know if you guys can hear me well. We're live here too on TikTok. We're ready to go. What up? What is going on, guys? Welcome to the live stream. Appreciate everyone on here. Don't forget to like. Up there. Let's take a look here at the markets. Let's see what's going on. I haven't seen here these other ones here. Check it out. I'm still super bullish on Dogecoin. I still believe it can go to 150, 160 plus. Kind of want to check out here the total market caps here. All right. Anyway, so we got a lot of resistance right there from this major crash, but we've been holding here. We've actually been holding here the total 3, I believe. We've been holding this pendant level. I mean, this is it's looking pretty good. Then we're already, I mean, we're very oversold here. So I mean, if we do drop more, I would expect the support to be right here. All right. If we drop more, but we don't have to. Thank you guys for coming to the live. Shout out to everyone on here. Yanks, what's up, brother? Hope all is well with you. You on the work without pay status during the shutdown. Thank you, Yanks. Same to you, bro. Hope all is well to you as well. And no, I still have even with the shutdown, I still have my pay status. So, but I appreciate you for carry. But yeah, I mean, I think a big reason why the ETFs are is because of the shutdown. But once it's back up, ETFs, big crypto ETFs, I'm super bullish on that. You know, I'm still overall very bullish. I know the sentiment is bearish with most people out there. How you doing, Eric? Thank you for coming to the live stream. Shout out to everyone on here. Appreciate everyone on here. You guys are amazing. And you know, that's how the crypto market is. Only the strong will survive, right? But I love this bearish sentiment. It makes me more bullish even, right? I love seeing Andrew Tate and all these influencers super bearish. But we haven't yet. I mean, we haven't broken market structure, in my opinion. Even here on the total 3. I mean, look at the total 3, right? Like if total 3, right, we had the flash crash. If total 3 would have been kind of struggling down here, we would have had this massive upside down hammer, right? Like just closing over here somewhere. That's bearish. I mean, that is bearish. But we flash crash and then we come back up to this level. And we're holding. I know we got how much more? 9 days basically, but it's definitely not that bad. Well, it wouldn't be an inverted hammer. It would start right here, right? It would be like a massive. It would be even more bearish of a candle. Yeah. Really, the liquidating investors that have to be without pay. Wow, I didn't know that. Let's talk about flipping the stock market. Yeah. Let me know if you want to take a look at S&P 500, 69. What's the reactive network? So I haven't looked at the total 3, but I'm liking the total 3. It's still in this bullish structure. You know, we are getting bearish divergence here, but it doesn't mean that we're going to keep dumping here forever. This is the total 2. Total 2 also looking pretty good. Even more bullish in my opinion. We wick down here. We're holding this level. And if you really look at it, I mean, we filled in this gap with this massive, huge wick down here for the total 2. Right? Because we had this beautiful green candle. And this, I mean, we filled in that gap right here, right? So, I mean, that's pretty good to see. Look into SPS 6900. Don't try to look for a chart because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. There's not a chart for it. Do I feel bullish? I feel bullish, man. I'm gonna be honest. Can you please do XRP and Solana first before I go to sleep? Yeah, I got you, bro. Don't worry. I appreciate you being on here. So let's try to get XRP and Solana here before Eric heads to sleep. Is it on YouTube? Okay, let's take a look here. XRP, give you my update on XRP. See how it's looking here. You can see we're trending down here, right? So we're very oversold already. Again, last time we were this oversold was this level. Let me look at the daily actually too. Yes, I mean, XRP is looking like it wants to come down just a little bit lower, right to this zone. Build some support here. You know, we had this massive candle here for XRP. Coming down, you know, we're filling in this massive gap. So I would expect XRP to find support right there before it exploded. Right. So it does look like, even on the weekly, it looks like it wants to come down here. The momentum is to the downside. So, you know, XRP at 220, 220, even at $2 around here. I would say this is where it could pop if we dump more in the market, right? we can find support here. So short term, pretty bearish on XRP, but long term, I would expect it to hold that level for sure. You know, it's filling this massive gap after basically hitting all-time highs here. Thoughts on gold? I'll take a look at gold. Let's take a look here at Solana now. Guys, play. What's up, bro? I wouldn't say we're effed. I wouldn't say we're, you know. I'll take a look at gold if you want me to. Solana. Okay, I mean, Solana. I mean, if we hold this level, we're mega bullish on Solana, right? I would say this is a good time to invest for sure. Even if you don't hold this level, I mean, this is a big level where Solana could catch a bounce on the 21, 50 MA, you know, 25. I mean, it looks like we're losing it, right? Momentum to the downside. We're finally oversold. See, the bullish thing here for Solana is that we're coming down to oversold on the weekly, but we're still in this nice uptrend. And if you hold this level, we're putting in a higher low right there, right? Last time you were this oversold was down here. So it'll probably come down here probably to like 165, 168. And then put in some bullish divergence right there. But overall, Solana, it's looking pretty good. You know, we're just coming down to put in a higher low here in the long-term perspective. Anytime, Eric. Yeah, but Solana is super bullish. I mean, long term, this has not broken structure, right? A lot of these coins, XRP too, have not broken bullish structure. You know, coming down to these levels will bring more fear, but we'll still be bullish here, right? We're resetting that stochastic here on the weekly, which is very good. After a long time, you gotta understand, Solana was multiple months here of overbought territory, right? So we gotta reset that, but we don't just reset it, we hold these higher lows here for Solana, so pretty good. That's on Chainlink hitting $14. I think it already did hit $14 in the flash crash, right? Can it hit again? Let's take a look at it. I'll give you my opinion if Chainlink can hit 14 bucks again. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate it, bro. Max, I just learned by myself for, you know, like a couple of years. And again, if you guys want to check out a great platform, check out the first link. Okay, definitely check it out. So now we're looking here at Chainlink. Let's see how Chainlink is looking. Good night, Eric. Shout out to Eric for coming on here. Thank you, bro. So yeah, I mean, I would say Chainlink does come down to that level if we lose this Fibonacci level of 0.5. So we already lost that weekly 50 MA 25 21, right? We're probably going to test this, which is around 15, 16 or so. So yeah, I can see it coming down here. If it loses that, heck, I would even say there's a chance to retest that 200 MA around 13, 25 or so, right? And technically, we would still be bullish. It's just very choppy upwards, right, for Chainlink. So yeah, I mean, there's a chance. It just, we got to close below that 0.5 here on the weekly. On the weekly. Which is also that 25, 21 MA on the monthly, right? So there's a lot of support here. If Chainlink comes down to 15.90, 16 bucks, right, around here. There's a lot of support right there, a lot. So I would expect, you know, I wouldn't wait for lower prices because it's most likely it'll hold this level. And again, we're filling in these gaps, right, that we had here for Chainlink. Coming down here, closing right there, we'll put in the higher low. And we can continue this bullish uptrend. You averaged 14, that's pretty good. What's up, SNA? Thanks for coming to the live stream. How you been? You can check out Algorand. Yeah. Again, if you guys want a great platform to buy spot, leverage trade, check out the first link in my bio. You guys can check it out. Algorand, let's see how Algorand is living up here to this crash. On the monthly, not bad, right? I mean, we're literally testing the higher low here from back in June and May. So it is pretty critical here. We still have 9 days left for this monthly close. So this is going to be an important monthly close for Algorand. If we can close holding this level, then we're bullish. If we get a lower low here, then man, I mean, we could have a big drop to 14 around here, 13 and a half. Okay. So it's a if this then that, right? If we have a lower low close right there for the monthly, which at the moment we kind of do, there's a big chance we can come down here to 13 and a half, I would say. All right, but again, we have 9 days left. I would expect, especially the market moves up, we can possibly close out here and, you know, start trending up. And if you guys are new, definitely subscribe, follow. Appreciate all the likes. We got over 50 people already on here. You guys are killing it. Well, we got H-bar. Comment the coins you guys want me to check out, guys. Just comment them, and I'll definitely get to them. So just stay patient. Algorand, one of my favorite coins. I did buy on this dip. I'm continuing to buy this coin. The way that it's looking, right? Is there a chance we can come down here to fill in this gap right here? We did with this liquidation wick, right? But can we come down here? I would say it's kind of similar to Algorand, right? If we get a close below here at that 0.5, then yeah, there's a chance we can drop back to even 10 cents H-bar. So, I mean, this monthly close is going to be crucial here for October for a lot of coins, right? And it looks like we're going to test that Fibonacci level right there at 14 and a half for H-bar. So kind of signals more downside here. You can see the stochastic momentum is downside. But again, right there, I mean, there's going to be a lot of fear, but we can definitely hold this and then pivot up, right? That could be the bottom right there. If we close below here, then we could retest these levels and fill in this gap here. So either way, I'm so extremely bullish on H-bar, right? It's still in this bullish structure. I think it's gonna go parabolic, right? We're still in this like nice parabolic structure to a point where we go vertical. And you can also see here, I mean, look at that. There's so much confluence here in that level right there, that Fibonacci level. You have the 25 MA, the 21, the 50 even around here. So, I mean, there's just so much support right here that I would expect to at least get a bounce at that level. Check Turbo. It's the meme index. Let's take a look here at Turbo. By the way, if you guys like Toshi, Turbo, all those coins, I cover them all on my YouTube. You guys can check it out, as well as Dogecoin. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I got a new video coming out tomorrow for Toshi. And my videos come out at 12 p.m. Eastern time. So, man, I mean, Turbo. We came right to that Fibonacci level, right? We flash crashed right to that Fibonacci level right there. I'm loving that we're resetting that weekly stochastic. All right. And we're kind of getting some bullish divergence. If we can hold this higher low for Turbo, we're getting some bullish divergence here. What I mean, let me move this here so you guys can see better. Yeah. Right. We're basically in the same oversold territory as right here, right? But like I said, if we can hold this higher low, even right here, we're getting some bullish divergence on the weekly. So, yeah, pretty good. I mean, it's a big drop for Turbo. But like I said, this monthly close is everything. We cannot close below that 0.38 right there, or else we'll slowly drop back to that 0.5. And you can kind of see this flash crash. I know it sounds weird to say. I know it's against what the sentiment is, but this flash crash, believe it or not, was pretty bullish. I know there's a lot of shady stuff behind all these things and that, but you know, it resets this whole market. You can see how a lot of these altcoins, you know, like Turbo, for example, have this huge God candle. And the market makers, they know there's a lot of people in longs that are open right here, right here, right here. So they have to crash the markets. Turbo fills in this massive gap from this God candle. And all those people that thought they were safe, well, they get liquidated, right? That had their liquidation levels right here, and here, and here, and here, here. So yeah, Dogecoin is holding it pretty well. I mean, that's another good sign. Like the fact that, you know, Dogecoin total market cap 3.2. You know, I look at these charts and I'm bullish. I'm not bearish at all until we lose bullish market structure, which I think would take a lot. But you can see even Dogecoin holding up extremely well. And you know, on the monthly, once we get that stochastic cross, that's really when Dogecoin is going to take off, right? We're still very oversold on the monthly. Once we get that stochastic cross, we're going to go back to overbought at some point. And that could be at the top. That could be at when Dogecoin is at $1 plus. Okay, but we're oversold. We're going to get the stochastic cross. Once we break out here, that's when the momentum is shifting upwards. But the fact that Dogecoin is putting in higher lows while oversold on the monthly even is pretty good. Really good. So on the weekly, we're actually resetting that weekly. So, I mean, Dogecoin is resetting that weekly stochastic. Very similar to a lot of coins. If we can maintain this level, put in a higher low here, right? We're basically in the same territory for stochastic on the weekly as right here when it was around 14 cents. Okay, meaning if we get some bullish closes here on this higher low, then we're getting bullish divergence on the weekly. You see what I'm saying, guys? I gotta bring you guys just the raw truth, right? If Dogecoin and this flash crash was kind of struggling over here around 14 cents, right? And we were like slowly downtrending around 14, 13, 12, and we were getting some closes right here, then that would be bearish, right? We're putting in lower lows instead of higher lows, right? But we're putting in a higher lows while resetting that weekly stochastic to oversold. So I don't know. Melania got rugged. I don't know. Dogecoin update. Yeah, I'll give you guys here a Dogecoin. Oh, Bitcoin update. My bad. By the way, subscribe to Sir Lewis on YouTube. I got a YouTube channel. I want to hit 40K. I'm only I think I'm 900 subscribers away from 40K, so check me out on YouTube. All right, we got Brett, Casper. I got you guys. Don't worry. So look, Bitcoin update. One thing up on the weekly for Bitcoin. Okay. Once we get that weekly cross right here, stochastic cross, it's going to be something similar to right here. When we get that cross, we're going to have another huge move to the upside. Okay, so that's what I'm watching for here on the weekly stochastic. Okay, we're going to get a stochastic cross here, and then we're going to take off, right? Kind of similar to right here. And for us to lose this bullish structure, I would say Bitcoin has to break that 50 MA on the weekly, which is the green, which is in green, right? The 50 MA on the weekly. So you can see right here, that's been the bull market support. Every single major pullback, boom, boom. So if we get a daily close, I'm not a weekly close below that, I would say we're breaking bullish structure. Okay. If you hold this level along with this stochastic cross here on the weekly, we still got a lot of fuel left for Bitcoin. I don't believe the top is in. Okay. You look here on the 2 weekly as well. The 2 weekly, the flash crash, actually we went down to the 21 MA in blue. So, hi, what's up, ZZ? Thank you for coming to the live stream. What's up, Mar? So the 2 week looks pretty bullish actually. You know, on the 2 week, so I would say the 2 week will tell you ahead of time, right? The 2 week, the 21, the 25 is the bull market support. On the week, it's the 50 MA. Okay, if we break those two, which are honestly pretty close to each other, right? The 50 MA right here is at 102, 101. On the 2 week, that level is literally at 102, 101. It's literally the same level, so yeah. I'm doing great. How about you? Brett, let's take a look here at Brett. And I think the other coin was Caspa, right? So, man, Brett honestly is looking pretty bad. But it doesn't mean this can't change around here, right? We have 9 days left here for the monthly close. Or if you get a monthly close here or even lower, we're not looking good for Brett. You can see how Brett's not... It's just not finding support here above that 0.78, right? We're way below here our previous low. But on the weekly, you can see on the weekly, we're holding that level right here on the weekly, right? Because we got the weekly close here. We got these tweezer bottoms here. And something similar can happen here. So you got to watch Brett on the weekly. We got 4 days left here on this weekly. We are resetting the stochastic here on the weekly. So, I mean, Brett had to have a massive dump to reset the stochastic. But this really is the lifeline here for Brett, this level where we're at right now. All right, we cannot afford the market to keep dumping for Brett to put in some new lows. Okay. Especially if bearish news come out, right? We saw what happened with Cadena, you know, going to zero. So we cannot afford to have bearish news come out. The market keep dumping here for Brett. So I mean, I would wait at least 1 week here just to be safe, but This could be where it bottoms out here for a double bottom from the one back in April, for sure. I'll take in the look at Caspa, one of my favorite coins. So, man, Caspa under 5 cents. Wow. And it's trying to hold that 0.5 right here. You got to understand, Caspa is a special coin. I mean, this coin came out of nowhere during the bear market. And it's coming down to a critical level here, right here, right? Where back in 2023, it was exploding here. And it broke out massively. So, if you really look at this in the big picture of things, it's not as bearish as other coins, right? CAS was coming down to these levels here that it was exploding back in 2023. But it can easily, right, put in the higher low on the monthly. In fact, if we dump here to the 618, the 618 is around 0.34. So I would expect that to be the next 0.35, the next support level for Caspa. I'll check out RSR. I got you, bro. And Near as well. I did get some Near on this drop, so I'm happy with Near. So if you got another massive dump here in the market, 0.35, I would expect Caspa to hold that level. So far looking pretty bearish, so it does look like it can drop more here. You can see on the 4 hour we're losing some levels, some support. And on the monthly, I mean, again, the monthly close, right? If we wick all the way back up here to around 0.66, right above here, you're going to see a nice wick back here. That's going to be bullish. Could even get like a topping tail. Not a top, bottoming tail. And then we hold this level to the upside. So you're the GOAT, bud, but this market sucks. Similio, thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Thank you, bro. All right, what do we got here? Crow, Near. See, look at Crow. Crow's one of those coins that pumped right before this market started dumping down. And honestly, I think Crow's definitely one of those coins that I'm happy buying at these levels for sure. Right, we're pulling back down here to the 618, flipping this as support on the monthly, as you can see as well. And this, I mean, there's so much confluence here at the 618. You got the 200 MA, the 50 MA. All right, so it's holding this level pretty well here. On the daily, we're holding that 200 MA, as you can see right there. So I'm bullish on Crow. Could it come down lower? For sure. I mean, I would say if it comes down lower, the 12s, I don't see more downside here for Crow. I believe it'll build a bottom here. If it comes down lower around 12 cents, will probably be the bottom, but that's only 2 more cents down. Either way, you know, I believe Crow is building support. All right, we put in a higher high. We're going to put in a higher low here and continue on this massive uptrend before we go parabolic, right? Before we go parabolic, we're very choppy, slow. And then once we get to the end here, we're going to go vertical, and that's going to be fast. So I'm pretty bullish on Crow. Let's take a look at Near. We also got XLM. All right, let's take a look at this Near. Okay. Yeah, let me know what coins you guys want me to know. Check out, comment down below, and don't forget to like. So, man, Near having a hard time breaking that 618 here. There's so much resistance, right? So we're building a lot of support here. We're probably going to test that 0.78, which we did with the flash crash. But the good thing is that this didn't come down all the way down here, right? Well, what could happen here for near is we can come here back to around 2 to 190 and then bounce off that level right there, as we're very oversold on the stochastic on the monthly. On the weekly, we're resetting that. So I mean, near has just been very choppy ever since it got, you know, ever since it lost that $3 support. It's just been very choppy here. But at least this time on this pullback, we're resetting the stochastic. So we're about to get to oversold territory here for near. Which you can see here in the past, it usually bounces off this level here, 180, 180, 190. And look, as long as near doesn't close below that level, right, 188, that 0.78 level, then we should be good here for near to put in a higher low in the macro to continue this bullish upside, right? Because you can see here on the monthly, the big picture, we're very oversold. So you build support here, put in the higher low. Then once we break it, you're going to probably start to see the stochastic start to change momentum to the upside. Right, once we get to oversold here again, overbought that is, you probably got a couple months to sell near our all-time highs. So, new subscriber. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the gift. Shout out to Marco. I just saw it right now. Thank you, bro. Man, we got 67 people on here. Wow, this bearish sentiment. You guys are amazing. We'll take a look at our RSR and as well as the XLM. But yeah, I did buy some near. Shout out to Lena. I bought basically the 3 coins I was procrastinating on buying. Near, Telcoin, and XYO. So RSR, let's take a look at it. Let's see how it's doing here. Because man, on the weekly, we are losing some pretty big levels here on, you know, on the weekly. 200, where we're getting a lot of resistance right there. See, I mean, it's looking like RSR wants to come down more, right? To what level though? Let's check out here to see what level we can possibly see RSR come down to. All right. I'm seeing a lot of weakness here for RSR. But we can easily, I mean, if we pull back, right? Even if we pull back to this level, we put in a higher low right here, long term, we're still bullish, right? We're still in this bullish uptrend here for RSR, and I would say that level is around 0043 to like 005. All right. So I mean, we're not too far. In fact, we actually came down here, right? So a couple days back ago, we closed around here, so we can definitely test those levels again. The good thing is that we're the weekly RSI is pretty oversold, all right? And we could also possibly have a nice inverted head and shoulders, right? Possibly to the upside. But so far, I mean, this is definitely more bearish than bullish at the moment for RSR. But what I like here, though, for RSR is that monthly stochastic is finally very oversold, right? We were down here to oversold, but now we're very oversold. And meanwhile, RSR is up here, right? The last time it was this oversold, it was literally the bottom on the month. I'm talking about the monthly, right? This is not like lower time frames. So, you know, while there's a lot of fear in the market, RSR is bringing that monthly stochastic to very oversold. And what you're going to watch here, and along with Bitcoin too, is once we get that flip here on the monthly, right? Once we get the RSI stochastic flip, then we're ready to really take off here. Next time we're overbought, could be when the top is in. So, Bitcoin free the world. What's up, bro? Shout out to everyone on here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's take a look here at XLM. I know someone asked for it. Up and bound. See, I mean, I see XLM kind of independent. All right. Kind of independent, and we're probably going to bounce off that 21.25 as it's moving up, right? So as it's moving up, XLM is slowly moving down. It's going to try to catch up with it here somewhere. And I'll say that level possibly could be around 25 to 27, 28, around here somewhere. All right, where I'll find support. But this still isn't a bullish structure, right? This is still pretty bullish here for XLM. And on the weekly, we're resetting that stochastic, which is pretty good. Sui, one of the most bullish coins. Let's see how that's been holding up. You can see we actually broke down to the downside here at this pendant, right? So, I mean, obviously a big reason for that was the market crash. We had this huge flash crash here. And like I say all the time, right? If we were bearish, we would have kind of been struggling down here with this massive red candle. But you look here on the monthly, and we're still holding this critical Fibonacci level at 0.23. So, I mean, if Sui gets a close here below that 0.23, which would be around basically at $2 Sui, right? 203, under $2. Then we're very bearish. But as long as we hold above 216, 210, we're still pretty good here for Sui. And we're very oversold on the monthly, so that's great to see. We're resetting that stochastic on the weekly. Last time Sui was this oversold was when it was actually near this Fibonacci level here too, around 189, 175, right too. So if you can manage to hold these levels, we're putting some bullish divergence right there too for Sui. But overall, pretty good. I'm liking Sui. I think this is a great buying opportunity. As Sui was literally at, what was it, like a 568 back in January, where it topped out here. But man, thank you guys so much. You guys have been killing it. I have a video coming out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And again, if you guys don't know what platform I use, check out the platform in the link in the bio. And if you deposit at least 1K, you guys can get my free book here of like 40 pages. Get it right here. I talk about all my indicators, right? And so you can see this on your phone, on your computer, wherever. So definitely check it out. Overall, I'm pretty bullish on Bitcoin. Let's check out here some other total charts. Total DeFi. What is this? Total DeFi. Check out USDT. So USDT had a big pump, right? Okay. So that USDT had a big pump here. So that 50 MA was resistance right there. USDT dominance. So we're still in this downtrend here. We had resistance at the 50 MA. Let's see how we close here for USDT dominance. I'm very curious to see. Let's see USDT that is. All right, we got Pengu and Ondo. Let's take a look here at Pengu. So for Pengu, I mean, so let's see some targets here for Pengu if you keep dropping in the markets. Let's see where Pengu can visit. I mean, I would say obviously that previous top here, which would be around 0.15. We can definitely come back and hit that, right? Fill in this gap here for Pengu. Especially since on the daily we lost that 200 MA right there. So we can lose that 200 MA and panic dump right here to 0.15, and that could be the bottom right there. But we can definitely, especially have one last dump in the market, we can definitely dump down here to these levels for Pengu. Do not be surprised. And even if we do, we will still be in this nice uptrend. Okay. What's up, bro? How you doing, bro? Let's see how Ondo's doing. And if Ondo can hold this level, we can get some bullish divergence here for Ondo. All right, as we're putting in a lower low here in stochastic. So this weekly close, we got 4 days left. If we can hold this level, that's pretty bullish here for Ondo, in my opinion. You know, especially since we can also get like an inverted head and shoulders, right? So let's see if that happens for Ondo. So far, I'm pretty bullish. I want to see how we close out here on the weekly. I'm definitely going to live stream here for the weekly close this week. But I'm liking here what I'm seeing for Ondo as we're very oversold. Holding this level, bullish divergence, also that inverted head and shoulders, right? You can start pivoting to the upside and break these levels eventually. So, I mean, honestly, I would say Ondo's a great opportunity here at this zone, right? This is Ondo's biggest point of control because it's an area where Ondo had some major bounces. Boom, right? And it's really the area where Ondo spent the most time here. And you can see each time it was in this area, it was very oversold, and right now it's pretty oversold. H-bar and dash, can you look at the daily for a second? The daily for what, Ondo? We're kind of in this descending triangle, right? For Ondo on the daily. Yeah, I mean, so this is how we're looking on the daily. You can see how we basically see how we pumped up here to the 25, the 21, the 50 MA, and we got a massive rejection right there for multiple days, right? Boom, we just couldn't break above this. We got rejection. We tried to hold that 200 MA, and then we massively dumped. So I mean, that's basically what happened to Ondo here on the daily. And usually the best times to buy is when we're way below the you know, these MAs here on the daily, because eventually we'll get above them eventually. All right, I mean, just like we did right here, right? We had a massive dump here away from the MAs. We see eventually we pumped, we got above it, and now this time is special, right? Because the 200 is all the way down here. We're getting all these bearish crossovers here on the daily, at least. I'm trading on TradingView, but the place where I do trade is in my first link. You guys can check it out. And if you guys deposit 1K plus, you get my free book here. 40 pages plus here. You guys can read it anytime. Basically goes over all the indicators and stuff. Check it out. Let's look here at some other important things here. That's crazy right here. Market cap, Bitcoin dominance. You bounced off that 25, 21 right there, right? I mean, we got very oversold on Bitcoin dominance. So let's see if we have a big bounce here for Bitcoin dominance. And if we go back to the 60s. Also take a look here at Bitcoin gold, right? BTC gold. I think it's not on crypto, it's on some other one. I gotta add Bitcoin gold here. Let's see if I can find it. You can see recently gold has been dumping here after massive pump. It's BTGU. Okay, I got you. It's because I gotta put all. Okay, I got it. This one right here. Yeah. Let's take a look here at Bitcoin gold and compare it to last cycle. Let me add this to my watch list here for Bitcoin pairs. So yeah, Bitcoin gold. Is this Bitcoin gold? Let me see. Yeah, Bitcoin gold. I'm using TradingView. You can see we're pulling back here for Bitcoin gold. I'll say this is a big topping signal too, right? Once you start to see Bitcoin outperform gold drastically like it did right here. Yeah, and right here, right? It's probably a topping signal. And we really haven't yet, right? I mean, we really haven't done that yet. Now, a lot of people that are bullish are saying with gold topping out, right, we can see some of that money flowing into Bitcoin and the crypto market, which they compared to back in 2020. So we'll see if that happens again. We'll see if that repeats history again, because back here, right, when gold topped out, actually take a look here at gold. When gold topped out here, we saw Bitcoin really explode, right? We had a massive pump for gold, and we saw it top out and kind of chop here. We really saw this massive explosion for Bitcoin in 2021 topping out there, right? Basically this time period. Right, this time period. I'd be shocked if whales take gold profits and roll it into Bitcoin at the end of the bull cycle. Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be crazy. What symbol for gold? I was looking good it up and couldn't find it. I think mine is just gold. So this one that I'm looking at is just gold. But some people I know has XAU, right? XAU, XAUU. Or you could just search up gold. BTC. Let me see XAU BTC. Let's actually take a look at gold Bitcoin, right? Gold/Bitcoin. So I love this chart because you can see basically gold versus Bitcoin. So we looked at Bitcoin and gold, right? We saw the chart moving up. Now we see gold Bitcoin, and you just see over time Bitcoin just been outperforming gold. I mean, look at this chart. This chart looks horrible, right? But even though with gold pumping recently, I mean, over time, Bitcoin has always outperformed gold. And this chart proves it, right? People who disagree with you, like Peter Schiff, you just showed them this chart. And you can see how awful gold looks here compared to Bitcoin. And it'll be crazy if we put in a new low. When Bitcoin takes off, let's say Bitcoin takes off to 150K plus or so, we'll probably put in a new low here, right? We'll probably put in, possibly go up with gold going up, but then break these lows and put in a new low. This is on the monthly. So, I mean, we can come up here to these levels here, to where gold continues to outperform Bitcoin, and that could possibly be the top right there. But you can see really how crazy this chart is. Yeah. Is that one NASDAQ? Let me see here if it is TVC. I think, yeah, this one's just TV. This one's just on TradingView. No offense, but I hear you and all other streamers talk about 2021 cycle. It's clearly not 2021. Yeah, I agree with you. It's clearly not 2021. And like 2021, we're at the 4-year cycle. I believe this cycle is going to break that 4-year cycle narrative. Right now it's in play because we literally topped out at the same time frame here as the last 2 cycles. So right now, right, with this massive dump and everyone thinking it's the top and this and that, the 4-year cycle is in play. Right, we hit a new all-time high in the same time span. If I would compare the last 2 cycles to see how similar it is, right? We can see if we were to measure here from the halving, right? Because people don't like to compare past cycles, but it's important to compare because you can see right here, you get this, boom, right? Look at that top right there, the same time span from the halving to the top. You get that, boom, look at that, look at that. So the 4-year cycle is in play, at least at the moment. So, you know, people don't like to compare cycles. Look, I just compared the last 2 cycles and showed you how at the moment they basically both topped out in the same time span from the halving, the previous halving. So there you go. Now, do I believe this cycle we're gonna break that narrative, that 4-year cycle narrative, when Bitcoin in the market, Bitcoin is gonna be the leader. Bitcoin starts moving up to new all-time highs. Right. And really, guys, when you start people talking about a super cycle, that's really when I believe the top will be near. But I do see, like you heard it here first. I see people, after we break that 4-year cycle narrative, I see the new media, the new headline, the super cycle, right? That the 4-year cycle is broken. We'll see. XAU is gold.
New subscriber.
What's up, Rusty? While most altcoins still just above bear market prices, only a few coins are doing well. Yeah, I agree with you. There's a lot of crap altcoins out there that are just slightly above their bear market prices, right? We can look at some of them here. And I want to say it's just a few of them, right? There's a good handful of them, like, you know, Chainlink, you know, Dogecoin, Ethereum. There's a lot, I mean, all the big ones, right? Even Crow too, I would say. If Crow was still down here around 8-10 cents, then yeah, but you can see we had that massive move. So I would say right now is a good time to reevaluate what you guys are holding. And really, you know, if your altcoin is at basically bear market prices, and basically struggling, you know, that could be a sign, a bearish sign that it might not be one of the survivors, right? We saw what happened with Cadena, and that could happen. You got to understand that could happen with just any other altcoin. I think VeChain is one of them, right? VeChain, I would say, is a good example here, where it's literally basically at bear market levels. And I do hold VeChain, but you can see how disappointing it's been, right? It's in the same level here from 2023 levels right here, right? When we put in new lows. So again, this doesn't mean this coin is, or a lot of these coins are just going to die off, but it's definitely bearish for sure, right? So we definitely need to have a huge reversal. You can't keep closing down here, or else we break this low. And then we get what happened to Cadena, which hopefully none of you guys held. But again, you want to, like I said, you want to research the coins you're holding, like Algorand. Algorand, I would say, is a great coin here based on the structure. Cardano as well, right? Because these coins from that bear market low is in this ascending channel to the upside. Thank you guys for the follows. You guys been killing it. HNT was around 30 bucks at this time in 2021. Yeah, HNT, I think this coin, let's take a look at it actually. I mean, we're not under our bear market lows, but we're like right there, we're right above that resistance level here. Variation T is still, I mean, it's still pretty very low, around 183. 2024 we went to 10 bucks, and then December 2024 10 bucks. So I mean, if there's a price point where H&T needs to make a bottom, it's right here, right? If you start getting in the zone, then we're not looking good. You can just see here, new low, new low, new low, right? So if we have to make a bottom here. We have to make a bottom in this level right here. Can you do Doge? See, Doge is very different, right? Doge is one of the most bullish coins out there based on the structure. Even with this flash crash, we come back up here when this ascending channel. And just, I mean, I feel like it's really doing the same thing right here, right? Where it's creating this nice rounded bottom here. The same thing right here from last cycle. In fact, let me actually... Yeah, I mean, you can see right here too. Let me actually get this right here, wick to wick. You can see right there, right, how we just, you know, from the previous all-time high, we break out of this, boom, 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 wick right to it, right, and then we can start to move to the upside now. But it's just crazy how that previous all-time high and the previous top here, you have the flash crash right to that. And even though we're, you know, putting these higher lows, Dogecoin is on the monthly very oversold. So like I've been saying this for a lot of altcoins, next time on the monthly we're overbought, you probably got 1 to 3 months for the all-time high. It can happen in between 1 and 3 months for Dogecoin. Yeah. But man, you guys killed it today. I'll be live again. So I'm sorry if I missed any of your coins. Subscribe to the channel. On YouTube, I'm 900 away from 40K. I have a video coming out tomorrow on Toshi if you guys hold Toshi. Render and Atom are not doing well either. I'm hoping for a late alt season. Yeah, I mean, Render's definitely doing better than Atom, but man, Atom, Cosmos has been, as you can see right here, really a bad, ever since 2022, right? Ever since the bull market here when we hit 45 bucks. But we'll see what happens. I know Atom has a lot of inflation. We'll see what happens. But thank you guys so much. I'll be live again. Definitely gonna do the weekly close, stream the weekly close. So I'll be live again. I appreciate all of you guys on here. Check out my YouTube channel. My video coming out tomorrow. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Shout out to you guys here on YouTube. Thank you. Catch you guys in